The band playing in the Hootenanny pub here in Inverness last night was as upbeat as the polls. Yet punters were taking both in their stride. If the latest polls are right, then there will just be one Liberal Democrat MP and one Labour MP north of Hadrian's Wall. The SNP are headed for the biggest political upset since the Tories here were wiped out in 1997.
I was a yes voter in September, and I do believe that this vote, if the SNP do as well as they look like they might do, it will hopefully give Labour and the Tories and Lib Dems, who I voted for in 2010, a bit of a kick in the backside.
If you search hard enough, there is resistance to this SNP tsunami.
It's like the Braveheart sort of concept, isn't it? You know, freedom, and I don't actually agree with that, because I think we do better as a country. We're stronger economically, and I think, you know, we should keep as one.
To try to make sense of all this, I went in search of a man whose story goes to the very root of what is happening here.
Wait, a wee bit more tension off it, please, John. Off it.
He has a love of the Firth, of his boat, and once upon a time, of Labour.
Labour's been very strong in our family. My great-grandfather was actually a friend of Keir Hardie's. Really? And he was quite instrumental, I believe, in setting up the Labour Party. I believe he was the first Labour councillor in Lanarkshire.
Jim Prentice is an electrician, a family man whose love of the water releases a yelp as we pass beneath the Keswick Bridge to the open sea. But it doesn't obliterate the pain he's been through in changing his vote.
This whole thing is agonising for you. Mm-hmm. The idea that you've defected from your great-grandfather's involvement with Keir Hardie and the rest of it.
I'm living the dream of what my great-grandfather started. Excuse me, it's hard to turn your back on something that was so successful, so needed, but it just went wrong, in my opinion. New Labour took it over. I'm not proud of it. You know, it's just, I think the people of Scotland are just saying enough's enough. We don't want this anymore, you know. So.
Ashore again, in dramatically changing Scottish weather. We're at nearby Culloden, scene 270 years ago of the last great battle between the English and the Scots. Then the carnage was physical. This is where the English died, and amongst the wilting yellow daffodils and smaller gravestones, here's a Cameron. Today the battle is political, deeply so. It's about alienation, and amid these flowers, on this ancient battlefield in remembrance for bonnie Prince Charlie, a revival of historic identity. Westminster is doing Scotland few favours in denigrating the SNP. Up here, it is read as rejection of what is, undeniably, a dramatic democratic moment in all our histories.